Super cool radio.
Hello, everyone. I am Matthew Thomas. This is Super Cool Radio. I have a great show lined up. My guest this time from Mexico City recently released their debut single, Vanishing. Please welcome progressive cinematic metal band Huri Hau.
That's right. Yeah.
Awesome. Got it. And joining me at this time is guitarist Daniel. Thank you so much for hanging out with me.
Thank you for inviting me to your program, and hi, welcome.
Thank you so much. Actually, our first guest ever from Mexico City as well.
Well, that's something very important to me, because it's my first time in a radio station on USA. And I'm sorry if I don't speak very well English, but I'm no such expert on the language.
It's not a problem. We have many international guests, so I really appreciate taking time to chat with me. So focus on you. So how did you get started as a musician before Huri Hau?
Well, I get started, I think, when I was 16 years old. And when my grandfather sold me, bought me a new guitar, an electric guitar, and I was, this so obsessed with Guitar Hero because it was my favorite video game. So I'm that Guitar Hero guitarist generation, And I started when I was 16 years old, and I met Sebastian, I think, when I was 17, and he teach me how to play guitar on the first steps, and later it was just YouTube.
Very cool. I know quite a few guitarists I've interviewed that they started with the video game Guitar Hero. It's kind of funny. So how was the transition from going from a plastic instrument to a actual guitar?
Well, it was very rare, I think, because I think Guitar Hero was an excellent exercise for this articulation from the fingers, but it was very different real guitar, very, very different. And I think it was easy on my left hand, but in my right hand it was very, very difficult to synchronize my both hands. But it was funny. It was cool, and also it was difficult, I think, because in Guitar Hero you only have 6 buttons, and there you have 6 strings and a lot of frets and a lot of things going on. But it was funny. It was difficult but fun.
Right on, for sure. Yeah, I was playing Guitar Hero over the weekend, so I haven't played it in a while. The muscle memory is it's different if you haven't been doing it in a long time. So you talked about Sebastian, the other guitarist for Huri Hau. Did you know him before the band started? How long? How did you meet him?
Well, yeah, I knew him, I think, since 2013. And no, 2012. I knew him because he was friend from one of my friends from the high school. It was friend or friend, and in a party, he came, and I knew him, and it was I think we make this click instantly because he was an amazing guitar player, and I was such shame. I think I was playing Nirvana. It was my biggest achievement from like guitarist in that time. But he was playing, I don't things like Children of Bottom, stuff like that. So it was a huge thing for me, you know. And I knew him in this party, and he used to live on Jalapa, Veracruz, that is very far away from Mexico City. And I knew him, and we made this click instantly, and we came very good friends. Actually, we don't speak with that friend in that time, in that common friend, and I think we make this amazing relationship, and it's been like I think 8 years or 9 years since that day to now, and we're still being very good friends.
It's very good to hear. It's definitely it's always very cool having obviously very good friends playing music together. Always an awesome experience. So how did Huri Hau come together as a band? How did that form?
Well, I think um, it was in 2020, and we started to looking for musicians to make these uh, demos that we have written that time. So Sebastian, it is always this guy who is friend from everyone. So that's cool, and he knew a lot of musicians. So he started to, sending some Facebook messages, some inbox, and say to her, hey, to him, yeah, we have this new band, so you want to play with us? And he's the rest. I think he's the one who uh, united us to all, and he started the band, I think, and he was this bridge to us, and that's how we started this so pandemic thing, because we started, with these meetings and these video calls, because we have we don't see each other because the pandemic, and the outbreak. So we started to write, and we started to talk with each other, and I think that's how we started the band. Later, when we were, in the studio recording our first single, "Vanishing," that was the first time that we see us, like a full band. I wasn't I wasn't know anyone from the band. Only in the studio I know it. I meet, and I think it was very difficult on the start of the band, but it was very funny, and it was very, challenge. It was a challenge because it was difficult to see us, but we make it, and we are very happy with the result.
It definitely a couple points I want to talk about was that obviously pre 2020 it was I wasn't used to looking at people through screens like how we are doing it now, through internet and all that. So it's definitely I'm used to it now, but definitely when it first started it was a lot different just to communicate with people just digitally without even meeting them or talking to them face to face. So definitely very different. But so how was it writing and recording the debut single "Vanishing"?
Well, it was a little bit difficult because um, we we have this idea on Vanishing. We have this demo that it was like 9 minutes long, and we have this idea. And when we came to the studio with the producer, that is Paul Grad from Cerberus, it's another amazing Mexican metal band. He said to us, "Hey, it's too long, or this part um, it's not working, or this part is is better than this." So it was, like rewrite the song in the studio, and it stops like the solo parts or the symphonic parts, it changed very, very, very much. So it was, very difficult to know how part it was in what part, on all the song. So it was a little bit difficult, but it was very funny too. And I think we are very good musicians, and we can we made it. We will be we able to make how all the recording process made. And I think Paul, it was an amazing person, and it had these amazing ideas that helped the song here very well. Sounds very well.
Yeah, definitely. I really enjoy it, especially the progressive nature of the song Vanishing. And also there's a killer guitar solo in there as well. I really enjoy that guitar solo as
Thank
well.
you very much. Thank you. Yeah, I was, Sebastian came with me with that part and say, hey, this is the part when you're solo you're gonna make your solo. And I was all right. And I had this idea to make very, very fast because all the background guitars are very, very, very fast riffs, and the drums are very in a very high tempo. But it was difficult also to me because there is this part with sweep pickings, very, very fast sweep pickings, and they follow the battery with the drums with are, you know, very high tempo. So it was very difficult to me also, but it was very fun. And I think that's something that is a very good for a band, to realize that you are capable to do things that you don't think that you could do.
Yeah, definitely, for sure. I really like how it came out, the whole finished product of Vanishing. But I got a question for you. So did you have the solo in mind when you started playing it, or did you start playing it and just saw where it went from there?
I think it depends. It depends because if we have this structure of the song very well made, since the first riff, I have this time to working on it, and I have this time to express some things and study the solo and make a more well solo. But when we are on a studio and we have this short time to make it, I think it's more like feeling, and you're trying and you start pulling out these ideas on the solo to make this final product. And I think it's like those two ways to make it.
Yeah, definitely. Again, I'm going to leave some links for Vanishing in the description of this podcast. Definitely give it a listen. It sounds really awesome, in my opinion. But I do know that Vanishing will be part of your guys' debut EP entitled Radical Dreamers. That is a concept EP you guys are working on. So, like, what is like the ideas behind the EP Radical Dreamers?
Well, the basic idea or the basic concept is this travel of our main personage that is called Ameyali. And this is this girl, this I think, how do I say it? It's this person, this girl who came from a very old town, and it's like this. He came to the city. So in the city, he realized, it's like this migration from the camp to the city, and he realized how badly it is to live in a big city, and also in a big city like Mexico City. So he started looking at his context and his all around her, and I started to realize all the bad feelings that it came when you live in a city and a big city. All this hypocrisy, that thing that the people don't give a damn how you feel. You know, so in Radical Dreamers, every song is gonna be, like this days of the journey of the Ameyali, and in this phase in Vanishing, is, when she is moving from the farm to the city. And the next single, it will be Masquerade, that she realized that all the people have this mask, this mask behind the real face. And it's like, this hypocrisy thing, and this, you know, that feels like something. So it feels like that when you realize that the people is not truly him, or is not a truly, they don't have these truly feelings, and they don't have this truly patience and this truly life, because the life on a big cities, is so fast, and you don't have time, or you don't have this empathy to, to look for other persons. And I immediately realized that, and that's why it's called Masquerade, And in one part of the song, it will be some Mexican instruments, so regional or folkloric Mexican instruments. And it's an analogy from the town of Ameyali, calling her, and calling her and say, "Hey, come back, please, and we miss you." But Ameyali needs to be here in the city, and is this what it feelings, and what it feels to be here, to look at the people. They are not so kind, and, And on the third single, it will be, it will call it. The name, it will be From Boy to Chaos. That is when she absorbs all these bad feelings and start to replicate on his own, on his own, on his own actions. So, and the other song, this will be all these phases on the journey, And on the final, we are thinking that on the final song, on the final single, it will be this absolution and this catharsis, that she realized that the only real thing, and the only wonderful thing about the human is his kind and his empathy. And if we want to progress, or if we want to be better like humanity, we need to be kind, and we need to be empathic with the others. It's nothing about, money, or it's nothing about power, or it's nothing about a social system. It's all about kind, and it's all about empathy. If we have that two things, I think we can be better persons, and that's the feeling behind the Radical Dream recipe. That when you look this person who came on the big city, who comes out of a very small town, and she don't have anyone, she doesn't know anything, you need to be kind, and you need to be empathic, because the society is, a really hard thing, and the life is a really hard thing. Sometimes you can be very, very lost on your own journey, on your own life journey. And I think it came, in a very types of adventures, because in this case, it's a medallion from a town to city, but it also applies from, I don't know, a Mexican citizen going to United States, these immigration things, or and all the cases. And that's the main idea from Radical Dreamers.
Yeah, definitely. I really liked everything that you talked about, because it is, as you said, very relatable story to anyone going from one part of a country, a city, a county, anywhere, to a different part of a city or a different country as well. It's very relatable, because there is usually a big shift either in culture or the way they do things or how people act. So I think it's going to be very relatable EP. And I like that you're addressing kind of the whole journey from moving to the ending, the catharsis at the end. I think it's very well thought out, and I really look forward to hearing the rest of the songs and the singles off the upcoming EP. What can people expect from like the progressive metal side musically from the EP?
I think we are. Yeah, I think we are, yeah, a progressive band, but we are more, like this symphonic band. But from the progressive thing, I think they can expect, these strange times, on the music, because we are playing, sometimes in 44 or 3/4 or 2/4 compass on the structure of the song. But also we wanted to do these very very polyrhythmic things on the next songs, because we want to expand that sound, and make some modern riffs and make these like Animas as Leader things, or Meshuggah things, but not so heavy, I think, because we don't have um, this cultural voice. Maybe later, maybe in other songs and on the next singles, we can make some more heavy songs if the story is best. But we are working on different riffs and on different rhythms and polyrhythms, on different scales. We want to make some more jazzy things and some more funky things, I think, and some more folk things, but not this Europe folk, like and Cipher and stuff like that. Some folk from here, from Mexico, and maybe later we can make some mariachis, I think, or there is some kind of music here that is called son jarocho, that is the typical music uh, uh, from one part of Mexico they call Veracruz and stuff like that, and putting in these different type of riffs and different type of music. I think progressive metal and progressive rock or progressive music, it's not only being on these very weird things on the music and you put these polyrhythmics very rare. No, it's also to put in other styles and on the music, if you are a metal musician or you have a metal band, you can you can make these mariachi things or these jarocho things or these other things. So I think progressive metal thing is gonna be just in like that, and we are working very very hard, from or studying that metal genres, yeah, music genres. We are studying that, and we want to make it this thing right. On the next single, it will be this Mexican harp and a tiny guitar that is called jarana here in Mexico. That is also a very Latin American thing, and I think you can expect something like that. I think, and also we're gonna play some polyrhythmics and some stuff like that, very weird things, because
I
it's very
do,
awesome.
yeah, yeah, for sure. I do really like the inclusion of like the as you said, the Mexican instruments and like and the possibility of Mexican like folk style as well. I really like the inclusion of the cultural aspects in the upcoming singles. I really do like that.
Yeah, because we wanted to know we wanted to sound different. We want to sound different. We don't want to sound like the all the folk bands or all the progressive bands. That's why we don't use these Europe instruments like tin whistles and stuff like that, or this I don't know how you say gaita. This is Scotch instrument that you have these flutes here that you use it in all the songs, all the folk songs. We don't want to use that. We want to use our own folk music and our own instruments, because we are from here, from Mexico. We are not from Finland. We're not from Norway, and they have their own folkloric things. We are in these own folkloric things.
Yeah, definitely. I think it's gonna be. I really look forward to seeing where you guys go with obviously the next single and obviously the complete EP, Radical Dreamers. So I'm going to leave links for Vanishing, for Huri Hau, all in the description of this podcast. Make sure to check them out. Please stream support, give a like to them. I do have one more thing before I let you go, Daniel. So how will Huri Hau finish out 2021, and what are your plans for next year, 2022?
Well, we wanted to finish this year, having these two singles released with their own video clip and stuff like that. And we are gonna working the first half of the next year on finish an REP. We are very focused on finish REP or record, And I think the next year, or the second half of the next year, I think we're gonna be able to play live. And here in Mexico, we expect that all the things about COVID and stuff like that be very low and be able to play. And we want to finish the next year playing all the shows that we can to promote or sing or records. So I think we'll be very active the next year on the live thing, on the concert things. And we are working on how we're gonna play the songs alive, how it's gonna be, because we have these other instruments. Who gonna play it? If it will be sequence. We need to discuss all the things, and we need to, to think what can we do and how we gonna do that. But I think the second half of the year it will be very awesome on concerts and stuff like that. We hope, and I think 2023 we expect to play for some more massive things and start to working on the next record. Maybe we'll be able to release a new single from other record on 2023. I think. I hope.
All sounds really great. I think definitely figuring out the transition from like studio work to live work, I think it's gonna be a little bit challenged, especially with the different instruments you guys use. But I definitely look forward to seeing, hopefully you guys get out, play some live shows end of next year, and I look forward to listening to the debuted EP, Radical Dreamers. So please check out stream support, give a like to Huri Hau. As I said, links will be in the description. Please check them out. Listen to their debut single, Vanishing, out right now on all the streaming platforms. And Daniel, thank you so much for hanging out with me. Had a really great time chatting with you.
Thank you very much. No, thank you for the space and for all the amazing time here. I'm sorry for my English, but I'm sorry. I promise to study more my language for the next interview. Maybe the next year I will be able to speak more, fluid. But thank you very much. We love all the support and we love all these spaces, and all these interviews. And for us, it's like living this tiny dream that it can be a big dream, later. So thank you, and thank you for the people like you that give us, the time and give us the space. And we want to get to all the ears on the world. So thank you very much.
Of course, as I said, I had a great time interviewing you. So please check out Huri Hau. For Daniel, the guitarist of Huri Hau, I am Matthew Thomas, the host of Super Cool Radio. Thank you so much for watching and listening. Stay frosty.
Goodbye.